all for joining us today to talk about this mentorship opportunity with CREST. I'm sure we'll still have some people coming in, but I think it's best if we start off the call now. So I'll hand it over to Russell and Abby. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So again, we just want to thank you all for your interest in becoming a mentor to a CREST intern this upcoming summer. My name is Russell Chin from Liberty Mutual, and I'm joined by Abby Batt from STV. And
Hello, everyone.
Let's get right into it. First, we'd like to thank our corporate sponsors. We'd like to also thank our platinum sponsors. And finally, our gold and silver sponsors as well. And then we have upcoming webinars and events. So if you have any interest in joining one of these events, make sure you RSVP through CoreNet. All right. And next, so CoreNet New England's been a partner with CREST over the last several years, and they're also a champion sponsor of the program. And with that being said, I'd like to introduce Milton Benjamin, the founder of CREST, and also Jason Pugh to provide an overview of the program.
Thank you, Russell. And well, thank you to Mark, Watkins, and Aurora for sort of being the leaders alongside us in promoting diversity via internships that we've been able to create over the last few years. That conversation started at a little restaurant in a hotel, and now has grown to our having a great relationship, and a relationship that generates mentors for the many interns of color and women that we now have as part of the program. And this year we're looking to have 30 interns. And I'm glad to say that a number of new employers have signed on early in the season. And Mark, I should share with you also that a number of new colleges and universities have joined on to CREST. For example, I might point to the Boston Architectural College, the Rhode Island School of Design, and Colby College. Awesome. So it's growing, and with that growth has come the support of CoreNet, and I'm just so pleased that we have this relationship and look forward to 2023. Jason?
Yes, and I'd like to start off by thanking Abby and Russell for all of their assistance this year in taking on the 2023 mentoring program. We've had great success in 2021 and 2022 and look forward to making this the best year yet. And so, as you are all aware, we have partnerships with over 13 colleges and universities within Greater Boston and New York City as well. And so our recruitment process has been well underway since the fall semester, and we're also continuing now within the spring semester. And so we at CREST recruit juniors, seniors, and graduate students for opportunities within commercial real estate for summer internships. I will say that all of our students have a 3.0 grade point average, and you've done a wonderful job of acting as employer partners. And so thank you for inviting us to a number of your events over the past couple of months as it relates to getting you on board for CREST 2023. And so again, thank you to those specific firms that have signed on for this year. I'd like to just discuss a little bit about the past couple of years with this mentoring program, and it's provided a great opportunity for our students to continue to build their network as they enter into the commercial real estate and corporate real estate industry. It gives them not only a confidant, but really a leader within the corporate real estate space in which they are able to rely on throughout their 10 weeks in the summer, and many of those connections do continue on after. And so throughout our program, we have an educational component that's really targeted toward providing our students with professional development opportunities, and then also skills that are necessary for those entry-level positions. We found that throughout the past 2 years, our students who have had mentors have been really able to delve into a number of topics within corporate and commercial real estate that they might not necessarily have had the chance to do throughout our education program. And so, again, it's provided a wonderful outlet for them to learn about themselves and also about you all as members within that mentor and mentee relationship. And so our students are attending 40-hour per week internships. Yes, please, next slide. And our students are attending 40-hour per week internships. And so they have pretty packed weeks. And so it's nice to, again, have that opportunity to learn about other aspects of commercial and corporate real estate that they wouldn't have the opportunity to learn about during their day-to-day. A number of our matches in the past have been made off of various interests within corporate real estate. And so if there's a specific industry function, might it be life science space or hospitality, we've done a great job of trying to match our students with some of your members who have expertise in those areas. And so here are some of our CREST interns from the past 2 years who have participated in our mentoring program. And so your chapter has had a wonderful impact on all of these students. And I'll just go highlight a couple of them. First, you can see Tristan Moore, who's now with Rise Construction Management, who's beginning his entry-level position there. And so he's done a wonderful job and continues to work within the corporate and commercial real estate space. Additionally, Alex Lasada, he was with us in 2021, and he's actually a member of CoreNet now, thanks to his wonderful mentoring relationship with Jackie Falla. And he's actually attended a number of the events last summer. And so as you can see, these students have, again, had the opportunity to interface with not only your chapter through the virtual education sessions that we have throughout our summer, but through those one-on-one mentoring relationships. Now, not pictured on the screen is a couple of your mentors that you provided and some of your members from the CoreNet Global New England chapter. I'd just like to provide a quick shout out to Jackie Falla, Charisse Marcella, and then Russell Chin, who have served as mentors since the inception of our program dating back to 2021. And so we really look forward to you continuing on as mentors for this upcoming year, because you've been able to provide wonderful experiences for our students. And we really look forward to making 2023 the best year yet. Russell, I'll turn it over to you to provide a little bit more information about this upcoming year.
Excellent. Thank you, Milton and Jason. Look forward to this year. All right, now just some general information on the program. So the CREST mentorship program runs for 10 weeks and will be starting on June 5th and will end about mid-August. There will be an in-person meet and greet at the start of the program, tentatively scheduled right now for June 15th, which mentors and mentees must attend. We also highly encourage you to meet your mentee in person at least 3 times over the 10-week period. We'll also be hosting a How to Be a Good Mentor virtual session in April or May of this year. And there will also be several group mentor advisory check-ins throughout the length of the program. And just providing kind of a brief background, like as Jason had mentioned, we started the mentee mentor program back in 2021, which was the first year, and we were able to pair up 7 mentor mentees. 2022, we were able to do 10. And this year, as Jason mentioned, we're looking to do 30 mentors that will be pairing with all the CREST interns for this year. So we're very excited about that. Hey, Abby, you're on mute right now.
Sorry about that. All of us often question, who can be a mentor? Can I be a mentor? Am I good enough? Or what is the cutoff? So the good news is anyone can be a mentor, and you can be a mentor. We just ask, what we look for in a mentor is you have 3 to 5 years of professional experience. You should be a good listener, a trusted and a significant advisor. As Simon Sinek said, a mentor is not someone who walks ahead of us and tell us what to do, but someone who walks alongside and guide us. So a mentor should be a good guide and provide direction, and not tell the mentee what to do. And a mentee can pick his or her brain, and a mentor should be able to push in the right directions and should be able to listen. That is the key. As Phil Collins said, in learning, you will teach, and in teaching, you will learn. So it's kind of both way, give or take. Why should I apply? Well, in mentorship relationship, it's always a shared opportunity for learning and growth. You always gain new perspective and fresh ideas from the new generations. So it's a win-win for both the sides. It helps you to become a better leader, more empathetic leader, and a better listener. It's another way of giving back to the community. So just look at it as your time, with little bit of your time, you're actually helping shape somebody's future. It also increases your own sense of self-worth. And in the end of it, you will make fantastic relationship, not just with your mentee, but think about 30 mentors and mentees that you will be interacting with and making your relationship with. Some of the good characteristics of the mentor is you should be able to invest your time. We don't ask for a lot of time, but whatever you commit, you should be able to invest that time. And with that comes the commitment. Another key is to keep the confidentiality throughout your session. I'm sure you will be sharing some of your experiences, or the mentee might be sharing their experiences at their internship or some professional difficulties that they're going through. So confidentiality is a key, and able to create that trust in this relationship is very important. You should be able to communicate very clearly, and it has to be open both ways. Again, a great skill, a great listening and learning skill, and able to motivate your mentee. That is another great characteristic that we look for in a mentor. And then help your mentees to establish the goals and finally achieve it just by providing the right guidance and direction. Our expectations from this program is quite minimal. Per time commitment, you decide the time that you want to or can commit. What we ask of you is at least half hour to an hour of weekly meeting. It can be either virtual or in person. You set the time, you set the date, you set the hour with your mentee. We do encourage meeting at least 3 times in person. It could be either attending the CoreNet event in person or scheduling one-on-one meeting in person. But as all of us know, virtual meetings are great, but meeting in person gives another perspective, provides you the body language and all the other good stuff that we know. We do highly encourage attending the CoreNet events in person with your mentee so that you can introduce them to the industry, to your relationship, and help them cultivate those relationships as well.
Excellent. And we have a couple testimonies from past mentors. First one being Jackie Fowler from Elaine Construction. She says there is an eagerness and curiosity that these CREST interns possess. The enthusiasm for the industry is magnetic and serves to reaffirm all the reasons our industry is great. To observe and support them is to invest in a dividend that will pay you back in surprising, rewarding ways. So we thank Jackie for that testimonial. And then, well, I'll kind of paraphrase August Russo from Iron Mountain, but he basically says that he talks about how it's been a valuable experience for both the mentor and mentee, and it kind of helps him develop a sense of trust between both the mentor and mentee, and mentors have helped him throughout his career. So it's kind of his way of giving back to what he's received and paying it forward. So thank you to both of them for that. And then a testimonial from a past mentee. So this is from Jess Harrington, who spent the last summer with us at Liberty Mutual. So her mentor for the summer was Mark Watkins from Thermo Fisher Scientific, who's on the call. And she kind of explains that it was kind of it helped her build a relationship with an industry leader. And she was able to discuss any and everything from personal experience to different tips that kind of helped in the industry. So on a more personal note, as Jason had mentioned earlier, I had the opportunity and pleasure to mentor 2 past CREST interns over the last 2 summers, and it's been a very rewarding experience. You're really able to build that comfort zone with your mentee, and it kind of helps you and helps them kind of discuss how their internship is going, what are they enjoying, maybe things that they're not enjoying. And then also you can ask them questions on what do they want to learn more about within the corporate real estate field that maybe they're not directly working on in their current internship. So you kind of help them guide that path. For for some of these interns, it might be their first time working in a professional environment. So they may lean on you for advice on how to interact in certain situations or how to manage their time. We really try to help guide them into a successful internship and also into a successful career as well.
So this presentation will be circulated to everyone who's attending this. And there is a link to the application. So once you click on that application, there's very basic questions about you, your current employment, your title and your experience in the industry, and mainly your expertise, just so that we can match you with the right mentee. We are going to be looking at the mentee and what they desire to learn from a mentor, and then we'll match you accordingly. So that's why we're asking some of the very basic questions to be able to match you accordingly. So if you can fill it out, the deadline is March 15th. If you can submit this application, and so that we can have the information ready and we can start matching you with the mentee, that would be great. And then, of course, you can always reach out to myself and Russell anytime if you have any questions, concerns, if you know, anything else that you want to ask about this program, that would be great. I would just open the platform. If you have any questions now, we would love to address them.
I have a question.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Abby. I'm in. I'm 100% in. I will apply. I've done this many times over my career, and the one thing I struggle with, which I find very hard to control, is the mentee's communication. I'm actually chasing a mentee right now who I was supposed to mentor for the past 3 months. And like, I get an email from them like every 5 weeks. And then I'm like, okay, when are you available? And then I don't hear from them. So I understand they're, younger, new to the industry. So I'm very patient and try to get them to communicate. But then there finally comes a point where it's like, I guess this isn't going to happen. So my only worry right now is like, what experience have you guys had with this program? And with that, because I'm always 100% in, and then the mentee's not really there.
So I can take that. So just for that, we've heard that quite a bit, and I'm going through a program as well within my company, which is nationwide. We do have advisory committee, which would be myself and Russell, and we would check in with mentee separately and mentor separately and address the concerns. And then we will bring in the larger platform to address those concerns. But, we can have all the mentors in a meeting, a virtual meeting, or however we set up, and we can address all those concerns and talk to the mentee directly if need be. So that's one way of addressing it. But I hear you, that is a big concern, especially when they're coming out of college and they don't have the sense of a professional world. Partly that's why they need a mentor to, develop and inculcate those practices. So, but we will have, I think we will have 3 check-ins within the 10 weeks, just to make sure everyone is on track.
Okay.
So I think, Stephanie, I had the similar experience last year. So I think what she asked is, or what she experienced, I also did. And there was a point where I gave up because I was actually not even getting a response. So it felt like I'm chasing him to sell myself versus vice versa. So, I think I think check-in is a great suggestion, Abby. Maybe one of the other suggestions, if you will, is also when you are doing this for the mentee side, or I don't know, whosoever is running this introduction, it might be a good idea to put in some, I would not say penalties, but some kind of checks and balances, or some measurable thing that if you don't do this, then one is, of course, they will lose out, which we all understand. But to your point, they are not mature enough to understand what are they losing. But if there is some kind of a disciplinary attributes attached, I think that would at least put some people more cautious about this program than
I
others?
think the fact that they're missing out on a mentorship alone is a penalty, right? This is about forming that network and the power of the network. I think that they need to understand the etiquette very early on, and this is an opportunity to share that with them. Hopefully, we don't have people that need to go into a penalty box.
And Ankit, to your point, that's why we are also suggesting meet and greet. I know previous times we missed that. So at the onset of the program, we would have a meet and greet in person where we would kind of set some outlines as to what is expected out of a mentor and mentee. And you would be kind of breaking an ice between you two as well, so that there's a comfort zone that's already built in and you don't need to work through it during your meetings. So we've heard of previous problems and we're trying to make it work. So we would have I think we've set the date on June 15th, and that's when we plan to have the meet and greet in person for all the mentors and mentees.
Awesome, thanks.
Sure.
I think this is Milton Benjamin. I think our team can be helpful here. Sandra King, who's not on the call, interacts with the students every week. We have the students writing us a summary of their week that Sandra collects at the end of the week. And we do this as a method of being supportive. What the interns share with us, well, it's not only confidential, but its importance is that it helps us to have a sense of the experience they're having and what they should be doing and may not be doing to help their careers along. So we can ask, and I will ask Sandra to check in weekly with the interns, not only on what they're doing with their employers, but also on their relationship with you as mentors. And I'm sure, given her a strong hand, that she will be active in making sure that the bridge is correct between the intern and the mentors.
Excellent.
I think the other thing is that we're starting the momentum towards mentorship earlier this year. So we have more time to interact with both the mentors and the mentees, to set up these virtual meetings, to meet, plan to meet in person so people can get it on their schedule, and make that emphasis that everybody has mentioned, either from the CREST side as well as the CoreNet side, about why participation and commitment is so important on both sides of the aisle, so to speak, of mentor and mentee. So I think that'll also help.
Hi, it's Catherine. I just wanted to chime in and thank you, Russell and Abby, for this great information, and Milton and Jason too. Always nice to see you both. And Mark and Aurora and everybody else on this call that I know. We're looking forward to hopefully working with CREST again this year. That's our plan. And one thing that came up recently that I wanted to, I guess, Russell, make sure that everybody's aware of is the fact that mentors can be outside of CoreNet. Is that correct?
Yes, we did decide to open it up to outside non-members of CoreNet as well.
So that might provide some opportunities for people, for other people in your firm, if you're considering this, and also help with CoreNet membership as well.
Exactly. Thanks, Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Milton.
And Stephanie, did we answer your question?
You did, thank you. It sounds like there's a lot of checks and balances. I know it's like corralling cats. And it's maybe, I've done it so many times. And like I said, I'm chasing someone right now, and it just becomes, it's frustrating, right? And And I know they don't understand. And Mark, I hear what you're saying. They're going to lose out on the opportunity, but it's like, you don't understand that until you're so many years into your career. Like, I would welcome any of you as my mentor, looking at the name of companies on this. So I can't even, these students have an unbelievable opportunity to have us talk with them even once. So when they don't respond, it's just so frustrating.
Well, and I think it's on both sides, right? I think Abby and Russell, they're at the helm right now and helping to lead this and have incredible experience. We did this during COVID, and that in itself added dynamics, right? It's been a tough couple of years. These college students have been working remotely, and I can't even imagine going to school remotely, and then they get a lot thrown at them. And as a mentor, I had to learn to ride this bike without having any experience. And that was an eye-opener to me. And Aurora and I had this discussion saying, what is the etiquette? We need to provide some level of parameters and give tools to the mentors, because they're stepping up, but they've got busy schedules as well. I don't want to go on and on because I'm a talker. But by scheduling that cadence of regular calls, that alone accomplishes a lot. You can only do so much. If they're going to ignore you and not join the calls, well, then they should. Well, I'll be quiet now. You know where I'm going. It takes both sides to make it a success. But I cannot say enough what Russell and Abby have been doing, the work that they've been putting into this. And I mean, thank you. I'm really excited for this year.
So thanks, Mark. Any other questions or comments?
So maybe Abby mentioned and I missed, so we have to fill up that form, the Google form. So you're going to send us this link in the presentation, correct?
Yep, we're gonna share this slide with everyone that's on the call, and then I believe the link to the Google form will also be on the CREST portion of the CoreNet site. So I think there'll be a link there. They will direct you there as well. So it'll be at both those locations.
Thanks.
If there's, like we said earlier, if you have any additional questions, just feel free to reach out to myself or Abby, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And we thank you again for your time and interest in becoming a mentor to a CREST intern. So with that being said, if there's nothing else, I think we'll end up the meeting. But thank you very much again.
Well, thank you, Russell.